Um, there we go. So we're recording now. So Cindy, you can introduce yourself a little bit to us right before you um, begin. Thank you so much for being here. She's going to be talking to us a little bit about how she uses the Piano Marble YouTube competition in her studio. She's been with Piano Marble for years now, and she loves the competition and uses it super well. She always has tons of students in the competition, and she's had winners before. So I think she was going to be a great person to kind of tell us about how she does it. And everybody does it and uses it a little bit differently, but this is just her take on it. So Cindy, go ahead.
Okay, lucky me, I have a frog this morning in my throat, but hopefully we'll be good. I have been teaching piano for forever, for, I don't know, over 30 years, getting close to 35. And when I was a young mother and my husband was in school, I got this free piano. We lived in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I got this old free piano. It was an upright grand. And my friend at church was teaching piano, and her husband graduated and they left. And she said, "Do you want my students?" And I said, "Oh, I could never teach piano." And she said, "Sure, you could." And I said, "Oh, no, I'm not that good." And she said, "You can do it." And so I took a leap of faith and started teaching way back then. And my degree is in elementary education, so teaching is a love of mine. And I have a minor in children's music, and I've always loved music. And so that's kind of how I started. When I moved to Modesto, California, where I live now, I met Nina Black. And Michelle, you know Nina, I'm sure. She was very big into piano marble, and
yeah, she's great.
She kept telling me, you have to see what this is. And I put it off and put it off. And I thought, oh, I'm just kind of set in my ways. I don't think I want to try something new, and I'm not very technical. So I put it off. And then one day I went over and saw it, and I thought, oh my goodness, I need to catch up with the world. And I got very excited. I also tried it on myself for a while and decided that it was something I wanted to transition into, but I was afraid to ask the parents to buy a different kind of piano. I thought they would, give me trouble. But over the course of about a year, I got all of my students into piano marble, and now I don't take anyone that doesn't jump into piano marble. So it is where I do. It's my passion, and I just love the way it is set up, because it makes piano teaching more fun for me and for the kids, and they're learning. And I happen to do group lessons. My HOA shut me down, so I had to go to a music store, and I started doing group lessons to maximize my time. So I have up to 4 students. I have a small room with 4 pianos that the store gave me, and we have a lot of fun. I've put together and bought and all kinds of theory games and technique, and the kids love being with each other. I feel like sometimes I'm more of a cheerleader than an actual teacher, because I think motivating is such a big part of piano teaching, because the kids need to enjoy what they're doing. And it's hard. Learning a skill like piano is hard. So I try to make it as fun as possible. So when I got everybody on board with piano marble, I decided that I was going to take another little leap and join this competition. So I didn't really say it was oh, if you want to. It was, we are going to. And so everybody, all of my students, we prepared a song, and they all entered. And I videoed them at their lesson, and the videos were pretty raw, because I'm not all that technical. But back then they weren't asking for too much, so it was okay. And I would have the students, stand up and introduce themselves, and then I would stand from the side and I would video them, and that's kind of what we presented. And I don't think we had any winners the first year, but then the second and third year we had a lot of finalists. This was when they were putting out a lot of finalists. Now they have pared that down to, I think, 3 per category or something that was like that last year. So it's very exciting for the kids. And one thing that I also noticed, which was huge, is I hold my recital a few weeks after the deadline for this competition, because they're prepared with a beautiful piece. And my recitals have really stepped up in their skill. I mean, the students are so prepared and they're memorized. And that was something I never required of my students, because memorizing was always a nightmare for me. And I didn't ever want to put that on a child. So I just, if they did, they did. But with Piano Marvel, everybody was memorizing because it just became part of them. When they learn their pieces, I require them to go to minced immediately and get every star at 100%. And then they go to chopped, every star 100%. And then they go to whole, every star 100%. By the time they do that, it is a big part of them, and it isn't very hard to memorize. So when we, this year, I think I'll probably I have 50 students, but I think I'll probably have, I don't know, maybe close to 40 who are in the competition. I picked up 12 new students January 1st. I don't know how that happened, but so I have all these new ones. They'll be in my recital in March, but I didn't want to put a huge pressure on them for this. So they'll be in it next year. So the way that we pick pieces is I start like in October, because I want to give them a lot of time and I want them to own their piece. So I take them one by one during their lesson, and we go through this thing where I say, okay, we're going to explore some pieces, and I want you to give me a thumbs up if you like it, a thumbs down if you don't like it, and we're not allowed to do this. So they have to decide if they like a piece or don't like a piece. And if I feel like they're saying they don't like it because I think they think they can't do it, then I assure them that I wouldn't really share with them something that I don't think they could do. We always go up 2 to 3 levels from where they're studying in Piano Marvel. And so I want them to feel challenged, and that's another reason we start very early. So a while back, Erin put out a sheet of, really great suggestions for solos. And in the beginning, I used that a lot because the library is extensive and I didn't know everything in there. But now that I've been teaching in Piano Marvel for a while, I have my favorite little places to go and look. And I have, certain songs that are usually in my recital every year just because they're little fun favorites. But so we go through and I'll play a song. I'll have Piano Marvel play it. And oh, sorry, I just saw a message. One of my piano, never mind. Anyway, and they decide, thumbs up, thumbs down. And I think this helps them to take ownership of what they're going to work so hard on. And so they all pick this piece, I write it down. And during the course of that time to, getting close to this video process, then some of them have to change because they've picked a song that they haven't given the time that it would need to perfect. And so then sometimes we have to adjust and come down. And I do that very happily with them, but I also let them know that, it's unfortunate that they didn't practice or whatever, because it's such a beautiful piece. But we do come down to something. I don't, give them an out. They come down to something they can quickly prepare. And we go from there. And then they realize, I say, maybe next year you can do that one. So, so we work for a long time on these pieces, and they are pieces they like, so they want to work. And I'm having a hard time reading all these chats. So if you want to just jump in with your voice, that would be easier for me because I would love to hear what you're thinking.
An important question I have, in general, I find it sometimes difficult to understand why certain pieces have a certain level and others not. And in concrete for this competition, how do you define, as I understand, you can compete in different levels. At which level should each student compete? How do you define that? Because they might play easier pieces and harder pieces. And
well, this competition is done by age groups. So
okay.
It isn't really ability. So you can have, in the 8 to 10-year-olds, you can have, itty bitties, and you can have, more progressive students. So it can be tricky that way too. But there are so many benefits from doing the competition besides trying to be a winner. That's really not where it's at. They learn to take a piece and to own it. They learn to, we talk a lot about, is your piece vanilla or is it rocky road? Have you done something to this piece to own it and to put your emotion into it? Or is it vanilla? What is your audience going to think? Does your audience know at the end of the piece that it's coming to the end? Have you told them in how you're preparing your ending? Things like that. So they're learning to really become musical and bring out their own personal musicality into this piece that they're performing. And then also they are so prepared for the recital that I think the jitters are just a lot less. Although they are asking if we can't do another Zoom one like we did last year. I said, no, this one's in person. And so now I'm going to show you some examples of some videos. And let's see here. Hopefully I can I share my screen? Michelle, can I share my screen?
Yes, you should be able to now. Sorry about that.
Okay, hopefully I do this right because I'm so technical. Okay. Let's see. This one, okay. Okay, this is a video that I now do not video my students because I have so many, and also in that little room, it's not a good setting to film. And in my home, I don't have I have a keyboard, but I don't have a grand piano or anything lovely like that to film them on. So I let them film themselves, their parents film them. And obviously I have, because of that, I have a great deal of technical variety that comes forward. And I try to encourage them to step out of the box, especially since they are now, entertainment is a big part of this competition. I ask them to step out of the box, but I also don't want to put a stress on the parents to where they hate this competition every year, because I want it to be part of who we are. So this is a video I got last year, and I'm only going to just play snippets of it, but I want your feedback on what's wrong with this video. And just don't put it in chat because I just want you to open up and just tell me. Okay, what did you notice?
It's compressed.
It's compressed. Explain what you mean by that.
The reason it sounds so terrible is because, phones record a lot better than that, but they sent it to somebody, and so it compressed it. It compressed the audio file and the video file.
Okay, so the sound is not clear. It's twangy. What else?
Is this an electric piano or is it an analog piano?
It's a digital piano.
So why has she a possibility to save that directly on the piano?
I do not know if she has a record function on that.
Because it's much easier this way. At least she should have a microphone or something. With the mobile, it's much more difficult, I think. Yeah. And also the mobile should be horizontal, not vertical.
Yeah. The
image is better, and it's very grainy. I don't know why she lacks light, probably.
Yeah, so there was nothing very impressive. The sound wasn't impressive. The video quality was not impressive.
I'll also mention that she was playing with Piano Marvel in the background, which does not help for a performance situation.
Yes. Okay, so all of those things. So we tried to, obviously I talked to her about that last year, but I have let's see, how do I get rid of this? How do I move the bar that's at the top that's showing me annotate remote control? How do I move that?
So the easiest way is to just click on the other side, like the right side of your screen where you have like the plus tab farther. Yeah, right there. And just pull it all down so that you can just easily. So not the new tab, but right beside it. And then just click and drag down a little bit. It's not there, just like the actual like the bar. Yeah, the bar itself. Just pull it down a little. There you go.
Move it. Okay. So we have, let's see. I kind of typed this up just so we could talk about it, but I talked to them about judges' first impressions. What will the judge think of you when they first look at you? What are you wearing? Did you care about what you were wearing? Did you put on something nice? It doesn't need to be formal, but it needs to be nice, right? She was in, I have no idea, pajama pants and a sweatshirt of sorts. Her hair was not, really combed, and she's a beautiful girl, but it wasn't her best her, right? How are they sitting on the bench? Are they sitting on the whole bench? Are they sitting on the first half? Are their feet flat on the floor? Are they curved up behind them? Are they twisted, crossed? Are their nails clean? Do they have dirt under their nails? I'm sure you have students that come to class like that. I do. And if girls are painting their nails, then, are their nails all chipped? Do their hands look nice? Do they smile? And then we talk about what the judges are looking at. And these are the things that Michelle told me judges are looking at this year: skill, sound, and entertaining. And so for skill, I talked to them about, are you using louds and softs in your music? Are you doing your articulation where you have things happening that give the music emotion, your staccatos, legatos, crescendos? Are you paying attention to your fingering and your hand position? And are you interpreting the piece? Is it vanilla? Is it you? Are you making it you? We talk about their favorite ice cream, and I say, I want it to be mint chocolate chip, because mint chocolate chip is so exciting that when I hear that, I want to say, yes, that was mint chocolate chip. And then on your video, Michelle said the sound needs to be clear. And on the piano that you're using for your performance, if you're not doing a pre-recorded audio part, is it in tune? Is it twangy? Is your video at a good volume? Do you have background noises going on? Do you have somebody in the kitchen or little siblings running around? Is it quiet? Do you have a good recording? And then entertaining, this is the tricky one, I feel, because everybody has such different technical abilities and perhaps opportunities in this, but let's see if I can bring that down just a little bit. That might be the end. I talk about, is the video pulling the audience in? What are you doing to pull the audience in? It can be just your performance, but it could be more. It could be, I have a girl playing German dance, and yesterday I said, I don't know what your parents can do technically, but wouldn't it be fun to shoot you and then have some castles in the background or some German people dancing or something from Germany in the background? What can you do to make your video entertaining as well as show off your skill? And then, do you look like you're enjoying yourself, right? Are you having fun in your video? So those are some things that we talk about. What are some things that I might add to my list that you talk about when you're getting your students ready? Anybody?
Yeah, I think these are all great. Like you hit a lot of these right on the head. And I think it's really key, like what you said at the end, is like, do the best you can with your video capabilities. I think a lot of people see what other people do and they're afraid that like they don't know how to do video editing as well, or they don't have the best equipment, or whatever the case is. They feel like they can't do it just because, one thing isn't going to be perfect. And I think that's the key, is like, do the best that you can with your skill level, with your recording equipment, with your abilities. Like, just do what you can to showcase yourself in the best light possible. And it's a really cool thing to watch your students build this like year by year portfolio,
Exactly.
where they can see how much they're improving over the years, and they can send it to people all over the world. If they have a grandma in like another country or state or something, it's just super cool for them. And I really don't want any students to feel like they can't be a part of it and have that for themselves just because they're not great at video editing or something.
Right. So I'm going to share a few clips of some other students. These are last year. So this is my student Julia. You'll notice that she dressed up and she's memorized. Okay, so that's an improvement from the other one that we had. And then let's see, this next one is, this was really good videoing, but I don't think it was terribly complicated. It was just really well done. And his mother did this. And let's go back to the beginning here. This is Branson. So they did some special stuff with the beginning. Okay, so that was kind of clever to put the keyboard in the backyard, and she had a lot of fades, and she moved around from where she was videoing as opposed to just being in one position. And then this young man, his grandfather is actually does videos for a living. So this is another side of the technical aspect that he would have.
Well,
Hello, my name is Wesley Page. I will be performing The Earl King. The Earl King tells the story of a boy coming home with his father. The boy is frightened when he sees a powerful and creepy supernatural being known as the Earl King. But the boy's father cannot see or hear the creature and tells the boy that his imagination is playing tricks on him.
So they had a lot of fun with that. Sebastian is one of my most advanced students, and he did not start with me in the beginning, but he was probably about a level 3 when I got him, and he has been so dedicated to Piano Marvel. He practices an insane amount of time. Like, he gets thousands of minutes every month, 2,000 or 3,000 minutes of practice time in every month. He's the most dedicated student I have ever seen. And it's been very fun to watch him progress through the competitions. So this is, let's see. This is 2019. I can get this working.
Hi, my name is Sebastian Berengola, and I'll be playing Dreamer by Aaron Garner.
Okay, so on that video, you can see, he's got shorts on, and it was just at his lesson. This was at my house back when I was doing the video. And so you can see it wasn't anything too special. Let's see here. The next year, is this 19? I think this one is the next year. He's at his house, and this is what he played.
Hi, my name is Sebastian Berenguela, and I'll be playing Solfeggetto by C.B. Bach.
Okay, so 1 year in piano marble, you can see quite a big difference in his ability, but also he chooses really hard songs because he loves to challenge himself. Okay, last year, Sebastian, let's see where I can find that. Last year, he actually won in his division, and he was up against Isabel, who's amazing. And I think a lot of it was the entertainment of his video. Not that he wasn't qualified to win, because I felt like he did a really great job. But the entertainment of his video grabbed the popular vote, I think. So here's him last year.
Nine, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
So very fun to see the history through videos because of this competition of where he's gone. And they just recently shared a video with me. He was in LA with his family at a special wedding type thing in a fancy hotel. And he was performing the piece that he's going to do this year for all of the guests there in a very fancy hotel. And the photographers there were just all over him. It was really funny because they were like, man, this kid is good. And he's not very old. And they were snapping. And I joked that they might have got more of him than the bride. But so this competition for me isn't really about winning. It's more about schooling the students into into becoming musicians that they might not otherwise be able to become without this competition. So it just feeds so many good things into it that for me, it's not an option. We all do it. I don't do it, but they all do it. And I just think it's great. I don't know. I'd love to hear comments from you guys about things that you've discovered about the competition for those of you that have been able to enter it.
How many people have been able to enter the competition so far? Chantel, anyone else?
My students are all about to upload theirs. So that'll be,
Yeah, that's where I am as well.
yeah. Not quite yet.
We like to go right to the end. We like to use all the available time we have
Yes.
to prepare last minute entries. You know,
Yeah.
Like living on the edge a little bit.
that's the way I do.
That was great to be able to watch a student from year to year to year, and what an impressive student. Holy cow. That
He is impressive.
just
I asked him, I said, where are you want to go with your music? And I said, are you wanting to use it as a career? And he said, no.
Joyce.
I said to his dad, I said, because if he does, we might want to look for another teacher. But said no, he just wants to maybe be able to teach lessons while he's in college to provide an income while he's in school.
That's so awesome.
Great.
Well, and that resource you have that kind of you give to your students, like, here's some stuff to think about when you're creating your recording. Would you be okay with sharing that with everybody so they could share that with their students? It's a really nice overview, and it gives every student, they don't feel like it's too much that's being asked of them, but they can be as creative as they want to be and go as far out as they want to be.
Sure. Absolutely, if I can figure out how to do it.
That's Karen Faye's your person for that. She knows all about how to
Karen can help me with that.
work those documents. Yes. I was going to say at our studio, we've created an online course, so we've kind of created some videos, tutorial type things. And we're trying to create a resource for people who want to go further on the editing part of it. And I know in the YouTube, how many of you subscribe to the Piano Marvel YouTube channel? To Bea and Cindy. So I didn't catch all the hands. So they have a lot of resources for helping students prepare for the YouTube competition on the YouTube channel. And we're trying to organize it so they're all easy to find, but there was a series that was just created just now for this competition that would be really helpful as well for that.
But also, if you haven't started yet, there's only like less than 2 weeks left now. So it's 2 weeks until, or like a week and 6 days until the deadline. So I wouldn't worry about trying to be fancy with it this year if you haven't started yet. Just get something in. And seriously, like Cindy said, it's much less about winning as it is about just helping your students become all that they can be. And it's amazing how much they learn just going through the process of like recording something over and over and over and over until they get that perfect take. Just the process of recording something is such a huge learning experience. So I would say get all your students in there with even like something they learned in their method book recently, like anything, just to start that. And then next year we can work on helping them like look at what they did last year and improve on that. But really, it's just important to get something in. So don't worry too much about like the technical aspect of it yet.
If you go and look at the entries, you'll see I actually have my students submit something even if they've only been learning for a week, because for me, they can look back to that very first week they were doing piano and a year later. Like that's actually a perfect time to have a look back, to look back on that time frame. If you want to do that, I usually do that with my students. I say usually. I think this is the second year I've participated. I don't think I've done very much. And I don't know if teachers are allowed to participate, but I've put my own videos in.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you are. I was actually going to say that, Cindy. It may be too late this year, but I would love to challenge you because you said you don't do it next year. I didn't put one in this year either. Like after having this guy, like my practice has been all over the place. So next year I plan on putting another one in. I did last year. But it's a really cool opportunity for teachers too, because we often don't get to have our own like recital experiences anymore unless you're actively performing somewhere. So I think it's a really cool opportunity. So I'd love to see one of yours next year, Cindy. I think that'd be pretty cool.
It challenges
Can I
them.
ask something?
Yeah, Chris.
Are we supposed to be putting in, like, can we put in something that's not in piano marble?
Yeah, anything. In
Oh,
fact,
okay.
you can do other instruments too. Like if you
Oh,
wanted to go into the ensemble category, you can do like
uh-huh.
whatever you want to do with that.
Karen Faye, are you submitting the one with the bass? I hope so.
Oh, that's different. But that was different. Well, maybe actually,
You should.
yes, but not that one. But a different one. We'll do a tango. It'll be fun.
Cool. Can't wait to
I
hear
have a
it.
student who has a vocalist singing her song with her. So she's playing and her friend is singing. So
That's
I don't know
fun.
if that's considered another instrument, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say put that in the ensemble group for sure. Yeah. Cool. I'm excited to see all of these. It's cool. Super fun.
No, I have. All right, I have extra thinking to do. I'm just gonna unmute myself because I think out.
well, and I don't know about, some of you have said, so I'll just tell you, I was self-taught until I went to college. So I had very, very few opportunities to play something memorized. And so this is like one of those times where I'm like, I'm gonna put something out there, and it is my weakness. I will tell you straight up, I am not good at the memorize, perform. In fact, I'm really, really reserved and get super, super anxious about performing. This is a great opportunity because it allows me to do it with a camera where I can just start over and redo it, or just do clips and put them all together in editing software, so I don't feel like I have to do it perfect, the whole thing. That's cheating, I know, but that's what I do. But I'm just saying, I was asking because I was like, shoot, am I not supposed to put that in there? Because I've been kind of taking advantage of that opportunity.
No, yeah, I think it's great because we have the adult division, and the adult division's cool because you have everything from like early adult beginners through like piano professors who are like, I'm gonna put something in. So it's a really cool division because it's like there's such a wide breadth of things that are in there. So I would say definitely take advantage of it. It's cool.
And
I
you
have
do
a
not have to
question.
have a teacher to submit, by the way.
Who is that?
I-
Sorry, I can't see who's asking.
This is Anne.
Anne, okay, hi Anne. Go ahead.
Hi. With the Christmas challenge that they have every December, and then we always do a Christmas recital with my students, and we do a Halloween recital, and it seems like we're preparing for the Halloween, and then right after that we start preparing for the Christmas, and the YouTube competition comes up. I just wondering, how do you how many weeks do you start your students on their song that they're going to do, like those bigger songs?
Well, Anne, honestly, I would have them do what they did for the Christmas one. Record that, and put that into the YouTube competition.
Yeah. Well, and Cindy said, and I do kind of the same as Cindy. I give them about 2 months to learn a piece that's 2 or 3 levels above where their sight reading level is.
Okay, that's good to know.
Case. But I don't know that that's the right or wrong way. I just find that it gives them enough of a challenge that they feel it's really impressive. Like, wow, look what I did,
Yeah, I do about the same, but I also recognize that some of my students take longer because they don't practice as much, and then some don't take as long at all. Like some kids can learn a song in 2 weeks just fine, and do great with that. Other kids need like 3 months to get something out there, so it kind of varies for me.
With the I start so early because they have those holiday breaks where I don't see them as often, and they're not practicing as often. So,
and you're not limited to submitting one video. I have my students, if they've learned multiple and like the past recitals, I'm like, go ahead and submit them. Why not? It doesn't have to be just one, right, Michelle?
Yep, you can submit as many as you want. Yep. And keep in mind too that there are different divisions, so they have their age group, but they can also enter into the ensemble if they want to do a duet with a friend, or if they have written something themselves, they can go into the composition competition. So, it's kind of wide open. It's a really broad competition.
And I'm just throwing this out there. I don't see too many in the composition category, and it would be super cool to have some teachers submit some compositions, because I know some of you are amazing at compositions. It's something I'd like to learn. I haven't done, I have like one composition. I'm not quite ready with it right now, but that would be so cool if your students or you do that category as well. My students love the ensemble category, doing duets and.
Yeah, most students do love that one. It's fun. And you can even do
Another question.
virtual
Go
ones.
ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was just saying that you can even do virtual ensembles where you have people, like I know Cami has 2 kids across the country from each other who are doing one together this year. Super cool.
Yeah, that's going to be amazing. So do you as the teacher video them, or do you have their parents do it?
You can do it either way. Some teachers do it in their lesson. Cindy was saying she just has the students do it in their home. I have the students, they're across the country. So they do their own videos. But you could do it whatever preference you have.
Okay.
I think if you do have them in person, it's really easy. It's so much easier if you can just use your lesson time to do it. Because you can kind of quality control, make sure that you're getting really good video, and it's just easier when like you plan the time and you make it happen. So like for those of us who do lots of online lessons, obviously that's not possible, and so you have to kind of figure out other ways to do that. But if you do have in person, much easier just to like use your lesson time.
I really like how Cindy was talking about that she compares it to vanilla versus their favorite ice cream as far as getting them to have some expression in their music. I thought that was kind of a fun way to bring that out. But does anybody have any more questions for Cindy or one another as far as the YouTube competition and preparing for it?
I have a question. Cindy, you were talking about that you had a resource that Aaron put out a few years ago or something that listed like some sample pieces. Where would you find that?
Well, I had it on as a Google Doc at one point. I haven't used it for a year or so because I'm more familiar with what's in there now. But if you're not familiar, that's a great one. And I bet that Michelle, you know what I'm talking about? Okay.
Yes, sorry, I was muted. I was putting my baby down. All right, I'm back.
Talking about Aaron put that out a couple years ago for
like the list of that. So we'll put a plug in for Song of the Week, because that list was how we used to do it, just because we didn't have a better way. We're actually making a better way still, but in the meantime, what we have is the Song of the Week, which if you type in SOW in the title search bar in the library, there'll be this little book that says Song of the Week. You open that up and there's lots of different bundles in that. And we've done it for a couple years now, so there's got to be like 100-ish, maybe more. I can't remember when we started it. But all of those songs in there are like the songs that we think are good enough to be performance pieces. And they're of all different levels and stuff, but it tells you what level's on there. Some of them have multiple levels of the same song. So it's just a really great place to go to see songs that you know are good for performance, that are already chopped and minced and ready to learn. They're all in that book.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
So, and along with the Song of the Week, those are also on the YouTube channel, like all the videos. I think the tutorials are also attached to the songs in the library, right, Michelle?
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Because I found some are not, but usually they are. But you can always check both places if you're like, where's I need.
Yeah, they should be. If you find one that doesn't have it, then like email us, let us know so we can fix it. But all of them after a certain date, like a year ago-ish, should have the video attached.
And we're playing around with this idea. In fact, I wanted to bring it up in this group and see what teachers thought about it. But TikTok is kind of all the rage right now with the kids. And I'm not real familiar with it. Anybody in this group kind of familiar with TikTok? Used it at all? Karen Faye. Good job.
I heard that TikTok is the most important platform actually right now, and I spoke with my kids about that. And I have kids age 9 to 23, and none of them is really using it. So I'm really like, I don't know anybody who's using it, and my smaller kids say it's just shit for stupid people. So I don't know. there must be something more in it.
Well, something we're thinking of doing, just putting out there as an idea, is using the phrase, did you piano marvel it? I piano marveled it. You know, so like with this song of the week, if you can have your students, you know, learn the song of the week and then just make a TikTok video, say, I piano marveled it or something, and put it on TikTok, kind of to start kind of a trend of the song of the week is kind of a fun one to do it on.
Spell it, and we use it with a tag. I mean, also in YouTube, we could use it with a tag. Piano marveled.
Absolutely.
Can you write it how you would write it? So we do it the same way.
Okay, yeah. Karen Faye or Michelle, do you know exactly like
I'm pretty sure it's just all lowercase connected. Piano marvel it. Like
Piano marvel it. Yeah.
Pretty sure.
I'm putting an exclamation point on the end of it too.
Well, we're playing around with the idea. Oh, sorry, Karen Faye?
Yeah, that's it. I just put it in the chat.
Oh, she put it in the chat.
You put it in the chat. Hashtag piano marvel it. So one thing that they did originally with the Song of the Week is that if you'd essentially earn an entry into a contest for every song that you got to, actually it was 100%, huh? It wasn't 96% like the,
it was hardcore, 100%, yeah.
Which I loved actually. And you would be put into an entry for a drawing at the end of the year. And I'm like, they should bring that back. I love that idea. But the other thing is, if you learned every single song of the week to 100% for the whole year, you were put into a drawing for something bigger. I think it was an iPad. Is that right?
No, it was a music video.
Oh,
so you were flown out to Colorado, the Piano Marvel headquarters, where you stayed there for like a weekend, and they recorded a music video for you, did all the editing and everything.
That's amazing.
So a kid named Jarek Beck, I think, was the kid who won. And his music video is really amazing. It's really cool. So I don't know if we'll do something like that again. Maybe. I don't know. Do you guys like that idea?
I like that idea.
Be awesome.
I think that would be amazing, especially because Piano Marvel can, has really cool editing stuff. So it's cool to come in, period. But it's such an honor, and then you get featured as well, which is cool.
It is cool. That was my idea when I was still in college, so I will take full credit for that.
Good job.
You're so good.
But,
so if you guys want that to come back, maybe we'll encourage that to happen.
Cool. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. So we'll see if we can do that again. But
you mentioned the composition part. We do quite a lot of composition, also as kind of freestyle learning and learning logic and theory of music. We are really not doing it in a good way. I have to say that we just do it for learning. It's just practice. But I think I'm quite good in transcribing the music, because I have to transcribe a lot, because pieces are too difficult and I have to transpose them, or because the 88 key piano is not working for the piece, so I have to switch some notes which are too deep or too high and these kind of things. And I use MuseScore. So I think I will do, I'm working out some best practices right now, and I will put that somewhere online and share it on Facebook later on, because I'm really struggling with a lot of things, and just as it is, Piano Marvel solves almost everything if you know how to do it. So that's what I'm learning right now.
Well, thank you. And yeah, we would love to have that resource when you've figured it out, so we don't have to. So.
Well, and I don't know if Piano Marvel's going to do this again, and maybe they always do it and I just don't know about it. But one Christmas challenge, they said, submit your compositions and we'll include them in the challenge. So other people were playing your music, like across the
we did do that this year as well. I don't think we heavily publicized that fact. So some people did have their own music in it. It just wasn't like a big thing we were asking everyone to do, but maybe next year we'll make it, you know, more well known.
Because that would be amazing for even for this YouTube competition for whoever like wins the composition category. If we could have a book in the Piano Marvel library with the winners of the composition categories where you can play their music like that they've composed, that would be pretty cool.
That would be cool. Yeah, we just need to make sure that they're okay with that and they're not gonna, like, they don't want to try to sell it to a publishing company or something like that. But yeah.
Right. Couple moving parts to make that happen. But it would be kind of a cool idea, I would think.
Yeah, I think so too.
So any other questions?
Just a reminder for everybody to put their contact information in the chat, just so you can share with one another. I believe that when you press enter, that it will just send. You can't go down to the next line. You can't be like, here's my name, enter, here's my email.
I think you can do shift enter and it should keep it in the same message. Let me test that.
Did it work?
Shift enter. Nope, it does. Wait, it was caps lock. Let me try again.
Tabby's on it.
It does work.
She had everything in one.
It does work. So
yeah, I didn't know that. So what is it? Central?
So
Central.
Just shift enter.
Shift enter. Okay.
Okay. Well, I hope everybody's excited about submitting things to YouTube competition. Cindy, that was an amazing way to share it and show everything that you're doing in your studio. Jamie, were you saying something?
I think she's adding her contact info.
Well, I tried. The shift enter, I don't think was working on my computer. Maybe the Mac is different.
You do not need to format it. You can just keep a space in between the words and that's it. Like
that's what you did, Tabby.
Well.
Sorry.
No,
yeah, I should have said that I'm on a PC, so it could be different with Max.
Okay.
My bad.
And I assume everybody's introduced themselves in the Facebook group, but that's a great way to continue the conversation, everything that's happening here. And if you're not able to make it, sometimes the comments below these recordings continue the conversation. Like Chris the other day from our last one was like, I'd really like to see that boot camp video be more, accessible to the students. And I'm like, oh, yes, absolutely. And Michelle was like, great idea. So, and we got that newsletter going. So we're really trying to,
hear you guys. Yeah. Do what get things that make changes that you guys want. Make Piano Marvel as useful as possible for you guys, because that's why we do what we do. So yeah, thank you for the feedback.
If anyone has any ideas on what they would like to see in the newsletter or as topics for our webinars, would you mind throwing those in the chat as well? Because that really helps us make decisions.
It does.
And we actually are keeping our meeting within about an hour. Yay, us!
First time ever.
Good job.
I like meeting beforehand so we can get to know all the new people.
Chat a little bit.
Really nice.
Yeah, it was good. Thank you to everybody for coming. These really are such great learning experiences, as well as just networking and being able to learn from other teachers, and I just love it. And Cindy, thank you so much for presenting today and giving us some of your knowledge and experience, because you always do so great with this challenge. I thought that you'd be the perfect person to talk about it, because your students are always tons of them in there and doing awesome things and progressing every year. So thank you so much.
Yeah, and I'm absolutely becoming a better teacher because of this group. So I just want to thank you to all the contributions you guys are putting in there.
Lovely. Would anybody like to continue discussing anything in breakout rooms, or are we ready to move on with the day?
Meet next week, unless I'm waiting.
Okay.
Erin,
Yes.
if you shoot me your email address and I send that Google Doc to you or something, then can you get it out where it needs to go?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's love to play at soundability.ca. Start today.
Maybe put it in the chat so she can grab it.
Yeah.
I think I'm hilarious, but you guys don't laugh too much. Oh, it's up here. Laugh and love. I'll put it in again. Whoop.
There we go. Did you grab that, Cindy?
Yes, got it.
All right, perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody. I guess we will see you next Tuesday. And in the meantime, if you have any questions that you'd like us to address during this meeting next week, then just get a hold of one of us or put it on the Facebook group.
Thanks, you guys.
All right.
All
Have a
right.
great week, everybody.
Guys. Nice to meet you.
Yep. Nice to meet everybody. Bye.